everybody, and welcome to the weekly scopes from the 9th to the 15th of June. So, hi everybody and welcome to this week's weekly scopes. If you've heard this before you can skip, but this is just the intro on how I formulate these astrology weekly readings. I use astrology and my intuition to give you advice how you can practically use the knowledge of the stars and the planets and apply them to your life. So my weekly scopes are all based on GMT time and on Vedic Constellational Astrology. So now I'm just going to explain what Vedic Constellation Astrology is and how it differs from Western astrology. So the precession of the equinox is sort of like something that happens in astronomy and astrology, where the Earth's axis undergoes a slow circular motion over 26,000 years, and basically this means that this motion causes a shift in the position of the equinoxes and also the calculation Vedic and Western astrologies use. So around 2,000 years ago, the tropical and sidereal Vedic astrology signs of astrology were aligned in the same position. So if the sun was in Scorpio in Vedic astrology, it was also in the constellation of Scorpio in Western astrology. But because of the precession of the equinoxes, this has caused a gradual westward sort of like drift of the tropical western signs. So basically these signs and the western signs shift 1 degree with every 72 years. So as a result of this ongoing shift, when Western astrology says the sun is in the constellation of Pisces, it's typically in the constellation of Aquarius. Still, this is because the degree, orb and the date for Western and Vedic astrology are 24 degrees 24 days apart. So in Western astrology, the sun enters the constellation of Pisces around the 19th of February each year, but actually the sun doesn't arrive into the constellation of Pisces until the 13th to the 15th of March each year, and Vedic astrology takes this into account because it's based on the fixed star positions, and Vedic astrologers use sidereal calculations. So as a result, Vedic astrology takes into account the actual positions of the constellations in the sky at any given time, and also considers the precession of the equinox, adjusting for the shift in the position of the equinoxes over time. But in terms of Western astrology follows the tropical zodiac, which is based on the seasons rather than fixed star positions. Western astrologers also do not directly account for the precession of the equinox in their calculations as well, so this results in slightly different calculations and interpretations that are given whether we're using Western astrology or Vedic astrology. So yeah, as I said, Western astrology uses specific dates. So every year, regardless of where the sun actually is at the sky, the sun moves into Pisces around the 19th of February. So yeah, this discrepancy, this misalignment between the tropical zodiac and the actual positions of the constellations has led to a discrepancy between Vedic astrology and Western astrology. So I consider the actual where the sun and the moon are and where Mars and Venus are at any given time, and this is how I formulate these sort of like weekly scopes. So yeah, thanks for listening to this, and let's dive into this week's weekly scope. So yeah, the main aspects this week, the first ones is Mercury's contraparallel to Pluto. So this energy allows us to have deep insights and transformative communication, encourages sort of like intense research, allows us to uncover hidden truths, but it can lead to power struggles in conversations or obsessive thinking, and miscommunication can come up because of intense emotions. But the best use of this energy is to use it to transform the way you communicate to yourself and others, whether it's toxic thought patterns in your mind or toxic ways you communicate or don't communicate to others. It's a good energy to use to dig into deep, complex subjects that require thorough analysis, such as psychology or investigative journalism, so digging deep into the meanings beyond things, starting writing online, starting that blog, anything to do with writing and communicating. It's also good energy to use to uncover secrets or tell a secret. Maybe you've been hiding the fact you've been cheating or something else from someone else, so this energy allows us to speak our truths, also to solve mysteries that can be really, really, valuable at this time and fruitful. So at this time, some of you may be like, Inspector Gadget or Detective Clouseau sort of thing, and this, just really digging deep, getting to the bottom of things, so you can sort of like make significant breakthroughs by tapping into hidden depths of information and just looking beyond the surface meaning of communication right now as well. The Sun also makes a parallel to Mercury, so it's the same as a conjunction. It just means that the Sun and Mercury are on the same side of the elliptic plane, and the contra-parallel is when the planets are on the other side. So yeah, the Sun's parallel to Mercury allows us with our mental clarity, communication skills and self-expression. It helps us become more confident in expressing ideas and gaining recognition for our intellectual sort of activities, research, intelligence right now. Negatively, again, it can make people overconfident in communication or decision making, and this can lead to errors or misunderstandings. So they may have a tendency to dominate conversation and overlook others' perspectives right now. As I said, a lot of the word problems is because often with information, when we have it and we have our beliefs, we can think, well, my way is better and they're wrong and I'm right, sort of thing. So we just have to make sure that we're open to listening to other people's side of an argument and being assertive enough to stand up for ourselves as well, without being dominant but being assertive. The best use of this energy is to use it for presentations, negotiations and any other form of public speaking where articulation and persuasion are key. Writers may find this period particularly productive for generating innovative ideas and engaging in narratives. So, for instance, a lecturer may give a captivating speech during this time that could inspire and educate their audience effectively. Mercury makes a parallel to Venus, so this is a harmonious energy that increases social interactions, creativity, and just make us have more of appreciation for beauty and aesthetics in general. It promotes charming communication and us being diplomatic and understanding in our exchanges. So yeah, it kind of counteracts that Mercury contra parallel Pluto energy that we're experiencing this week, and also the Sun's parallel to Mercury. So this is really, really good for this week. Mercury's parallel to Venus. But on the negative end, we can be overly optimistic and we can gloss over important details, ignore red flags, just not wanting to dig beneath the surface when we need to, and people may prioritise harmony over addressing conflicts or issues directly right now as well. So the best use of this energy is to use it to work with others, especially in creative teamwork, have romantic discussions with your partner, especially difficult discussions. This makes us have those harder discussions this week with more ease. And if a situation that requires tact and pleasant communication, this energy allows us to do it. Artists can find this energy and use it to, create inspiring, beautiful works. And we can sort of like, how can I explain it? We can, just create works that resonate deeply on the emotional level with others. So for instance, a pair of musicians compose a love song during this transit that can produce a heartfelt melody that touches many listeners' hearts. So the things that you put your mind to this week can really, touch not only other people's hearts, but open you up to love and romance, because we often shut ourselves off from it when we, experience heartbreak and stuff. On the 9th of June, the moon enters void of course at 8 minutes past midnight. Mercury makes a quintile with Neptune, which is a sort of, how can I explain it, sort of esoteric energy, and this is exact at 1:59 a.m. The moon enters Cancer at 9:39 a.m. The sun makes a square to Saturn at 11:36 a.m. and Mercury makes a sextile to the moon's north node at 5:29 p.m. So yeah, Mercury's quintile to Neptune can increase our intuition and creative thinking. It can inspire us to communicate in a more compassionate and imaginative way. There is a risk of getting lost in daydreams or being overly idealistic that can lead to misunderstandings if we're not grounding it in reality. So the best use of this energy is for creative activities, spiritual discussions and intuitive problem solving. So we can use this energy to sort of like, we may be inspired to write that novel, continue that novel, which I'll be using this energy for. You can just create beautiful music that's influenced by sort of like emotions and spiritual insights. The moon in Cancer allows us and adds to the emotional sensitivity of the we, allows us to nurture ourselves and others at this time, and we can use it to connect with our loved ones and to seek comfort and security. But negatively, the moon in Cancer can always make us moody and clingy to others, causing us to be overly protective or sensitive. So the best use for this is for spending quality time with family, expressing emotions through being creative and having deeper conversations, and being self-reflective in our sort of like care practices such as journaling or meditation. For instance, also during this transit, for example, you may, want to make a nice dinner for your loved ones or for yourself, get a takeaway, create a warm and nurturing atmosphere, play games together as a family, just connect with friends, even, going online and engaging in online forums and stuff. Also, the sun makes a square with Saturn, so this allows us to be more disciplined, more responsible, and make long-term plans. It pushes us to face challenges head-on and build resilience, but it can also bring feelings of restriction and pressure and setbacks during this time, and this can lead to frustration or self-doubt if not managed effectively. So the best use of this transit is to tackle tasks that require our focus and perseverance, such as setting long-term goals, working on projects that demand precision and structure, and taking steps towards your personal growth and lifelong psychological and emotional and spiritual management, and just being more self-disciplined. So some people may feel more determined to establish a strict daily routine right now, enhance their daily productivity and achieve their goals despite external challenges. So this energy allows us to be like, yeah, life is crap, I haven't got the money and everything I need right now, but hey, despite all of that, I'm still going to keep on working towards my future and, living my best life. So yeah, Mercury also makes a sextile to the moon's north node right now. So this allows us to have clearer intuition and communication skills and align with our life purpose. It helps us to connect with people, offer us support and support our goals right now. But on the negative end, we can overanalyze or become overly fixated on details, which can lead to indecision or us missing the bigger picture. So it's important to focus on the little details right now. Do your research, check your facts. The best use of this energy is to seek guidance from mentors. Also supports us, with our communication, whether it be through talking or writing words. It allows us to express our ideas and emotions effectively and explore opportunities that resonate with our soul's journey. For instance, during this journey, you could benefit from journaling to tap into your inner wisdom, reaching out to people who can help you move forward on your journey and give you insight into your problems, participate in workshops or seminars that increase your communication skills and help you connect with like-minded people who support your growth and support your journey. On the 10th of June, The moon enters its crescent moon phase at 5:34 a.m. Mercury makes its exact contraparallel with Pluto at 11:22. So the crescent moon represents a time of growth, development and setting intentions in astrology. So positively allows us to be more motivated. We may have more of a sense of anticipation, just hopeful about the future, and gives us an opportunity for new beginnings. So some of you may feel inspired to start a new project or take steps towards reaching your goals. On the negative end, we can sort of like feel overwhelmed by choices or pressures to move forward quickly. It also highlights that we can feel impatient at this time or have difficulty focusing on, any one thing or any direction. We could just feel like we want to go this way and that way and every way. So just take time out, be gentle with yourself, don't rush, just weigh up the pros and cons and give yourself the space to be indecisive, So the best use of this energy is to be creative, be innovative. So, it's great for brainstorming new ideas, starting, fresh creative work. And it's also good energy for us to set clear intentions and establish a plan of action towards achieving our desired outcomes. Basically, this phase encourages us to embrace change and adaptability, making it a good energy for us to initiate positive transformation in all areas of our lives, such as our career, relationships or personal growth. On the 11th of June, there's a lot going on. So the Sun makes its exact parallel to Mercury, which I talked about earlier at 4:31. Mercury makes a semi-square to Mars at 6:32. Venus enters out of bounds at 7:52 a.m. Venus makes a sextile to Chiron at 8:13 a.m. Mercury makes a sesquiquadrat to Pluto at 9:14 a.m. Mars makes a square to Pluto at 2:22 p.m. and the moon enters void of course at 5:02 a.m. and then the moon goes into Leo at 7:09 p.m. So there's a lot. So Mercury semi-square to Mars allows us to have clearer communication and decision making, and with a lot of things that are clouding our decision making this week, this is a good energy. It boosts our mental flexibility and assertiveness, but again, negatively it can add to the impatient and sharp words and actions and communication of this week. So this can add to the conflicts in conversation. So the best use of this, as I said, is to think before speaking and doing anything right now to avoid unnecessary arguments and to tackle challenges that require focus and determination. When Venus enters out of bounds, it allows us to have more freedom and break from conformity and be more unconventional in our creativity, in our relationships, and how we go after, working with beauty and aesthetics right now as well. Negatively, it can make us unstable and unpredictable in matters of love and personal desires. The best use of this energy is to embrace this period to explore new ways of expressing love and beauty, step out of your comfort zone to experience unique and exciting connections. Venus's sextile to Chiron allows us to have sort of like work on our healing, supports us with self-forgiveness, empathy, forgiveness of others and understanding and self acceptance, awareness and care and management, and to grow within our relationship with others and with ourselves. But we can dwell too much on past wounds on the negative end, be insecure. It may bring up self-esteem issues as well, and get in the way of our potential for moving forward positively in partnerships. So the best use of this energy is to address our lingering emotional pain within relationships, to foster deep connections based on empathy and acceptance. Also today, Mercury makes a sesquiquadrat to Pluto, so it allows us again to go deep, be intense on the mental level, to be technical. So I don't know if you're learning, coding, anything to do with computer programming, technical stuff, it's a good energy to do that as well. Also editing, if you're a writer or anything like that as well. It allows us to uncover hidden truths, but it can make us assertive. On the negative end, this energy can make us obsessive and manipulative in our thinking patterns, and this can lead to power struggles or paranoia. So just watch out for that, you know. Be gentle with yourself and others. Try and give other people the space and room to be who they are without saying or thinking that you're right, and also stand up for yourself as well if someone tries to dominate you as well. So the best use of this energy is to channel it into research, problem solving and uncovering mysteries that require a keen eye for detail. So a lot of energy this week is allowing us to dig deep, which is good, but we just have to be cautious and avoid falling into negative thought patterns and instead focus on constructive analysis and transformative insights. Also today, Mars makes a square to Pluto, so again it adds to the aggressiveness and controlling behaviours that can come up right now, but it gives us that assertiveness and drive to, you know, do what we need to do, supporting that personal empowerment and growth, and to stand firm even with changes and challenges that come up right now, so we can overcome obstacles that come up with this energy as well. And it allows us to find constructive, positive, productive expression and outlets for our passion and drive to make positive changes in our life and relationships. When the moon enters Leo, it helps us to be more creative and self-expressive and tap into our inner creativity and shine and show our talents to the world. So it's good for drama, acting, musicians, performers and creatives to, you know, get out there. It can give us confidence and more charisma, and allows us to step up into leadership roles as well, and to, you know, just have more conviction and faith in our ability to be that leader, you know. Negatively, it can bring drama and ego clashes, because the fiery energy of Leo can sometimes lead to drama or conflicts because of ego issues. So it's essential to be mindful of not letting pride get in the way of building harmonious relationships. It can make us overindulgent because we can seek more recognition and validation from outside ourselves right now. So it, you know, it may tempt us to overspend, overeat, or seek attention through extravagant sort of like means, leading to potential financial and health issues. It can also make us stubborn, as Leo's fixed nature can manifest as no resistance to change right now as well, unwillingness to compromise, and this can make it challenging to navigate relationships right now and also adapt to new circumstances. So the best use of this energy is to showcase your talent, you know, have more confidence and assert yourself in social interactions. So this is good to counteract that dominant energy, especially if you're more shy, reserved type. If people try and overstep your boundaries, this allows you to stand up for your boundaries, and also good energy to just show off your work and show off your talents, you know. On the 12th of June, Mercury enters out of bounds, and I think Venus went out of bounds earlier this week. So yeah, I've done full audios on these, so check out the playlist, but I'll talk about it in short in a minute. Mercury makes a exact parallel with Venus at 8:09 a.m. Mercury makes a square to Saturn at 11:48, and Venus enters Gemini. So in astrology, when a planet is out of bounds, and Mercury at this time, it just means that it's out of range of its declination, which is I think 23.27. Don't quote me on the exact 27, but trust me on the fact that it just means that it's out of bounds of its normal range. It usually happens for 3 to 5 months. This is the amount of time planets normally stay out of bounds. So it signifies a time when communication can become more erratic and unconventional. We've got that Mercury contraparallel to Pluto as well. So positively, it allows for us to think outside of the box, be more innovative in our speech and thinking. We may find ourselves more open to trying new things, expressing ourselves in a different way, and not feeling like, oh, I want to conform, I want to be like everybody else in my communication. This allows you to be unique in your communication and be who you truly are in your communication as well. But negatively, it can add to the misunderstandings and miscommunications of the week, and over the next couple of months, Mercury's out of bounds as well. Actually, I'm going to go and check. Okay, so Mercury actually is only out of bounds for 2 weeks, so it enters on the 12th and comes back in bounds on the 28th of June, and Venus also is only out of bounds 18 days, so it entered out of bounds on the 11th and it comes back in bounds on the 29th as well. I just want to make sure I always give accurate information, so yeah. So again, you know, when Mercury's out of bounds for the 2 weeks that it is, we're just over 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks, we just have to be more mindful of our words and ensure we gain clarity in our conversation. So it can be a tendency for us to think we hear something that we didn't, or to find our own meaning in what someone says. So always make sure you clarify with them, avoid misunderstandings and you getting emotionally hurt or you emotionally hurting others. Make sure that you're very clear with your words right now, especially in romantic matters as well. So Mercury also makes a square to Saturn, so this is a challenging energy that brings and adds to the obstacles in our communication and mental clarity, so we can, you know, feel restricted or limited in expressing our thoughts and ideas. You know, you may just find it, you know, hard to get your message across effectively, or, you know, be nervous about communications that you're waiting for. So just try and be gentle with yourself and others, actively listen, and just give yourself the extra space and time you need to communicate right now. I said that twice for effect, I think, but anyway, yeah. So it wants us to realise that despite the challenges to communication this energy brings, it encourages us to be patient and more diligent and strategic in our communication, and to learn from, you know, the things that come up right now. And it reminds us that if we approach conversations with a structured and sort of logical, more disciplined way right now, we can sort of navigate the misunderstandings and conflicts that come up right now with more grace. Also today, Venus enters Gemini, so I've done a separate audio about this, but yeah, so Venus in Gemini increases our ability to be charming, have intellectual stimulation, and can give us more of a desire for variety in our relationships. It encourages us to be light-hearted in our connections and be playful in our flirtations and engage in conversation. So it's good to get us out of our comfort zone and just have nice banter with others. It can just make interactions more enjoyable right now and mentally stimulating. So it's a great time to explore different interests with your partner or meet new partners who captivate your mind. But negatively, it can make us indecisive and superficial in relationships, and people can just be flirting for the sake of it. So, you know, yeah, be open to love and romance, but fact check, don't ignore the red flags. It's important to stay grounded and maintain sincerity in your interactions, even during the influence of Venus in Gemini. And also, while this tragedy can bring about excitement and curiosity, it's essential to ensure that communications are meaningful and authentic. And by navigating the contrasting energies of Mercury's square to Saturn and Venus in Gemini, you know, we have to take a balanced approach to our relationships this week, embracing the lessons of patience and clarity from Mercury square to Saturn, while also infusing your interactions with social charm and the mental flexibility that Venus in Gemini brings over the next 3 to 4 weeks. And just remember that your words hold power this week, and choose them wisely as you know, sort of like go through life and your interactions right now. And just place your energy into, you know, developing genuine connections and nurturing, you know, providing understanding and nurturing yourself and others in your relationships. So yeah, on the 13th of June, Venus makes a semi-sextile to Uranus, Venus makes a quintile to the Moon's North Node at 3:09 AM, the Sun makes a sextile to Chiron at 7:25 AM, and Venus makes a biquintile to Pluto at 7:42 PM. So positively, this energy can bring unexpected and exciting opportunities in love and finance. It encourages us to embrace change and new experiences. There's also a tendency to seek thrills without considering the consequences, but it can also make us more unpredictable in our behaviour, in our relationships as well. The best use of this energy is to embrace being spontaneous, being open to new things, and allowing your heart to guide you towards unconventional yet fulfilling connections. Venus's quintile to the Moon's North Node is a sort of energy, but it adds and it helps us being creative and building and giving us the chance to be emotionally intelligent this week, and this can just help help us with building those meaningful connections that a lot of aspects are allowing us to do this week, but negatively can add to the over idealization of people, putting them on pedestals, ignoring red flags, and us putting so much hope into something can lead to disappointment if the reality of who we think someone is or something should be falls short. So yeah, try and be grounded and just be open and try not to be too pussy. And I'm not saying don't expect the best, but also be open to the fact that what you think something or someone is may not be who they are or what it is. So yeah, so the best use of this energy is to focus on nurturing your relationships and choose relationships that align with your personal growth and values as well at this time, and trust in your intuition when making important decisions at this time. The sun also makes a sextile to Chiron, so it promotes our self-healing and encourages us to address past wounds, gain insights into our deepest vulnerabilities and find inner strength, but there's also risk of us straddling too much on past pain, get in the way of growth and progress, being too overconfident in our ability to heal, and overlooking necessary support, so not rejecting support as well, or not thinking that we don't need support at this time as well. So make sure you accept help if need be, and you're not afraid to ask for it, because a lot of the time you can think that especially in the way the world can be right now, people don't want to help us, or we don't want to let them in and stuff like that as well. So just think about actually reasons why you may push other people away, where you may think that you don't deserve help, or why you may help people too much, because sometimes over helping people is not good, because we all have to sort of learn to grow and manage any emotional, spiritual or psychological disorders we may have as well. So the best use of this energy is to engage in self-reflection, seek out therapy or counselling if needed, forgive yourself and others, and empower yourself through compassion and understanding. Venus makes a biquintile to Pluto, so it allows us to, and it does bring intense and transformative experiences in our relationships and personal value. It can deepen our connections with ourselves and others, and just supports our emotional growth right now, and encourages us to embrace vulnerability and exploring our desires. And the intensity of this transit, we can unearth hidden power, struggles or unconscious patterns within relationships which can cause upheaval if not addressed consciously. Embrace authenticity in relationships as well, and allow for emotional depth and transformation, and just confront any shadows, bad habits or fears that come up right now head on, rather than running from them. And I know that this can be hard, and just focus on mutual empowerment and growth in relationships as well. On the 14th of June, another big day, Mercury makes a sextile to Chiron. Then at 3:02 a.m, the moon's north node goes direct at 6:08 a.m. The moon enters its first quarter moon phase at 6:19 a.m. Then the moon goes void, of course, at the same time as well for about an hour. It's crazy when I see this, but yeah. Then the moon enters Virgo at 07:25, because void, of course, normally lasts longer. It's only an hour today. And remember, void, of course, is when the moon's not making any major aspects such as conjunction, square, or opposition to any planets, but it can still be making things like sesquiquadrates and quintiles. So yeah, the sun also makes a conjunction to Mercury at 5:33. Mercury enters Gemini at 6:36 as well, and the sun also enters Gemini at 7:58 p.m. as well. And Mars also makes a semi-square to Saturn at 11:10 p.m. So when Mercury forms aspect with Chiron in astrology, and the sextile kind of brings a blend of communication and healing energy. It helps us to be more sensitive, have more meaningful conversations. That's come up a lot this week, hasn't it? And this can lead to emotional growth and understanding, and it allows us to express our vulnerabilities and connect with others on a deeper level, and be more empathetic, and just offer mutual support and stuff, as I said. But on the negative, again, we can lack compassion and we can trigger each other's wounds right now without always meaning so. Some people can be A-hats right now and just be triggering you because they are, you know, feeling bad inside and they just want to get a reaction out of you. But a lot of the time with this energy, people can just trigger you without meaning it as well. So, you know, just give yourself and others the grace, ask questions rather than jump the gun and be like, oh, you're triggering me on purpose, and just give yourself that love and nurturing as well as, you know, you face the emotional pain or confront difficult truths that can come up right now as well. So yeah, the moon's north node going direct allows us to have more of a focus on our higher purpose right now and take action towards, you know, living our best life or being open to new opportunities. We may feel more of a sense of a purpose as we get into the weekend now and focus on that personal development or couple goals and just doing things that resonate with our authentic selves as well. And it also reminds us, you know, that it's best in life to get out of our comfort zones and embrace the unknown with confidence and optimism. So it makes it a good energy to focus on important decisions that align with our long-term goals and spiritual growth, and it allows us to take more calculated risks that can lead to significant progress and fulfillment. By staying attuned to our inner guidance and intuition, we can navigate this phase with more of a sense of purpose and just empowerment as well. And it just allows us to just stay focused on our sort of like goals and the things that we need to be doing. Also, the moon enters its first quarter moon phase today. I think I may have called it the full moon, but it's not. It's the first quarter moon, but I'm just double checking. But first quarter moon today. But yeah, so this allows us to make decisions, overcome challenges, take on new things and take action, but negatively it can add to the obstacles and tensions that can come up right now as well. So just a good energy for making important decisions and going forward. The moon in Virgo allows us to pay attention to details and focus on our health and well-being and anything to do with hygiene, look after our hygiene and all of that as well, and our eating plans and exercise routines and stuff as well. But it can make us overcritical in our behaviour and be too you know, just perfectionism can really come up with us as well, so just watch out for that. So the best use of this energy is to, as I said, organise things, look after your health routine and pay attention to the finer details of your work and personal life. And you know, it's ideal for deep cleaning your living space or starting new regimes, as I said, new routines. The sun's conjunction to Mercury allows us to have more mental clarity, but again it can make us too rational in our thinking and communication can become too dominant right now. So this energy is the same as the sun's parallel to Mercury that's lasting all of this week. This conjunction is pretty much the same as that, but it's just for a shorter period of time, but it is the same. But yeah, so the best use of this energy is to write and to brainstorm and just to work on getting clarity and expressing your ideas more clearly as well. When Mercury enters Gemini, which happens today, again it allows us to be more curious, to learn new things and be more flexible and more sociable, but it can make us more superficial. People can gossip more and this can cause problems in connection. So the best use of this energy is to do things that are intellectually or spiritually, intuitively stimulating to you, and to network and to take short courses or workshops. So just listen to podcasts and online videos that can help you, that inspire you. It wants us to stay open-minded and focus on sort of like whatever it is we need to do. Sorry, I lost my focus there. So yes, it just encourages us to be open. So yeah, the sun also enters Gemini today. So remember, I've done sort of like thing, not a thing on my playlist, you know. I go in depth and I got in-depth audio about Mercury in Gemini and the sun in Gemini. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, so again it just adds to the curiousness of the time as well, but again it adds to us being superficial and gossiping as well. And Mars is semi-square to Saturn, kind of brings a push and pull towards being assertive and feeling limited, adds to the delays and obstacles that can come up this week, and it allows us to be disciplined and strategic in our sort of like everything that we're doing. So yeah, combining these transits, it allows us to just be more sort of like strategic in our planning, disciplined in our action, but also open-minded to other people's opinions as well. And Mercury square to Saturn also reminds us to channel our energies into productive plans and take advantage of networking opportunities that it may bring. On the 15th of June, Mercury makes a quintile to the Moon's North Node at 1:50. Mercury makes a semi-set star to Uranus and the Moon enters void of course at 4:44 a.m. Mercury makes a biquintile to Pluto at 10:53 a.m. Sun makes a quintile to the Moon's North Node at 12:43 a.m. The Sun makes a semi-set star to Uranus at 3:17 a.m. and Mars makes a semi-set star to Jupiter 5:37 p.m. and the Moon's North Node goes direct at 9:20 p.m. So again, another active day. So yeah, Mercury's quintile to the Moon's North Node allows us to seek those opportunities for growth, but again it can make us overthinking and critical of ourselves and others. The best use of this energy is to expand your understanding and to seek guidance from those who can help you. Mercury's semi-set star to Uranus can bring sudden flashes of insight and innovative ideas that can lead to exciting breakthroughs in communication or problem solving. Negatively, there can be a tendency towards impulsiveness or erratic thinking, so it's important to stay grounded. The best use of this energy is to embrace the unconventional and experiment with new ways of expressing yourself or tackling challenges to make the most of this transit. Mercury's biquintile to Pluto offers deep psychological insights and the potential for profound transformations in how you communicate and process information. Negatively, it can make us intense or obsessive in our thoughts as well, and this can just add to the power struggles. So the best use of this energy is to use it to understand complex issues and to do research, seek therapy and to self-reflect. The Sun's quintile to the Moon's North Node allows with self-expression, boosts our confidence, creativity as well, allows us to do things that align with our highest good, and it can help us have more clarity and confidence in going after what we want as well. But we can be too focused on our personal achievements and neglect emotional connections, and because of we can just neglect other people's needs right now as well. So the best use of this energy is to show off your talents. So maybe, you know, it's Sunday, so Saturday actually, so maybe a talent show, you know, go out, chill with your friends, or put in a little show for yourself, you know, a little puppet show. Just have fun with yourself, you know, if you live alone and you spend time alone and stuff, so like I do a lot, so spend a lot of time alone, that is. So yeah, it just allows us to fulfill our destiny and align with our truest self. The Sun's semi-set star to Uranus allows us to break free from routine, embrace new ways of thinking, and negatively, because of the unpredictability of Uranus energy, can make us impulsive and make us rebel against authority. So it's essential to balance freedom and responsibility. Use this energy to brainstorm and to just, you know, be open to newness. Mercury's semi-set star to Jupiter again boosts our confidence, allows us to go after what we want, but again can make us too overconfident and take unnecessary risks when we don't really need to. So it's best to use this energy in productive ways and to avoid impulsive actions as well. So the best use of this energy is to take calculated risks, set ambitious goals, and sort of like push your limits in a positive way. The Moon's North Node goes retrograde, so again it allows us to turn inward, do the things that we know will make us happy basically, but it can also bring up unresolved issues or emotional baggage that require our attention. So it's important to be patient with yourself and others, you know, be gentle, use self-care to avoid becoming overly overwhelmed by internal shifts that are taking place as well, and to just sort of like connect with yourself on that deeper level and use it in a wisdom, you know. So the best use of this energy is to do anything that's sort of like spiritual or holistic. It looks after your mental health as well and explore your subconscious mind. So you may want to journal, to process your emotions right now. Voice record your emotions or video record them. Meditate to quieten your mind or seek guidance from a spiritual mentor. This energy is excellent to use to focus on healing past wounds and releasing beliefs that no longer serve you, and embrace the opportunity for inner growth and self-discovery. So yeah, that was the weekly scopes from the 9th to the 15th of June.